All right, so here we are. This is going to be a recording to show you my logic and what problem we have with the printed circuit board on the M1083A1. Basically, my transmission is not telling everything else that it's ready to run or that it's in neutral. Now, what I'm showing you here is a schematic of, this is going to be the military schematic. And it shows over here this light green wire. I'll get a pen. This light green wire here tells everything, the ECU and everything, that it's in neutral. And what it does is it supplies power from here solely to this relay at pin 86 and an LED light here. This LED light here says it indicates on the panel in the truck that it's in neutral. Now, this is a 12 volt supply line that comes from the computer to this solely just to activate that solenoid, which in turn sends power down to the alternator excite, but which also in turn sends power up to the starter button. That's why I'm having difficulty starting this. If I hadn't witnessed this whole problem by it happening to me, I would have said, how in the world did they do this? So it's a complicated thing. But basically, I'm not getting a 12 volt signal from the transmission control unit to this one spot in the solenoid. Now, I'm going to show you why. I'm just showing you on paper that there is only a connection between here and the transmission. It connects nowhere else, and that's going to be an important thing to follow. Now, according to the schematic by Allison Transmission, I'm showing here the power routings of what is battery power and ground power. I'm showing you the neutral wire up here. There's also an ignition hot, which I did not show. That was one that I had problem with and restored the ignition 12 volts going to that. That was in the connection in these harnesses I'm going to be showing you. Just to get an overall view, that is basically the wiring for the transmission control unit that is sitting in the truck. All right, so I'm working through this maze. But basically I wanted to show you, and I'll switch back over here, I wanted to show you that from the ECU, that's the transmission control unit, going to this relay here, it touches no other wire. So therefore, if I isolate from here to here and show continuity, that is the only place it should read. All right, I'll stop on that, and the next time we'll be proceeding to the truck. All right, in this little clip, I'm going to show you that these are the batteries, and I am absolutely disconnecting all power, 12 volt and 24 volt power from this truck. I've disconnected all the grounds. There is no power going to this truck. All right, the next thing I'm showing you is that I'm in the officer seat showing you the power distribution panel. Turn this to a wider angle. What you see the wire coming out right there, that is the neutral, where it says neutral start, right up above here. Neutral start, and the K26 stands for the number of relay that it is. The LD26 stands for the neutral light. Okay, when that is lit, it says that it's in neutral. But I'm showing you that I have the relay out, and down below here I'll be working with the TCU and show the wire configurations. Now, the way that Allison labels it is, you can see on the case it says gray or black, which corresponds to the color of the plastic. Okay, the military, that silver band, is what labels it either P114, P115, or P116, which says it's a socket. And I'll explain that in a moment. But I just want to show you that I've taken that apart. Right up here in this corner, you see a J302. Now this is kind of a neat thing about these printed circuit boards, is I don't have to take wires apart to see if I have power to that certain point. This is very neat. On the back side of it, we see the electrical connections going to the relay board. This over here is the one we'll be dealing with. All right, thank you. All right, now how this test is going to begin. I'm going to use continuity. That means I'm going to use a separate 12-volt battery. I'm running it in through wires into specific points that I want to check. And on the other end, I have a light that lights up to show somewhere here. There it is, continuity. Now, according to the wiring diagram, the neutral wire is at, and if you look up here, that doesn't show up well. This tag up here says J115 or P115, I'm sorry. And that's the socket on the schematic. It says that it's pin 6. Up here on this plastic outside, it's labeled 1 through 16. On the other side, it's labeled 17 through 32, which shows me my positive and negatives, and that's how I find my pin numbers. So I'm looking for pin 6. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one right here. I'm going to see if I can't set it. Well, let me do this. If I take and probe that, I have continuity. You can see it in the red light that is lit up down here. I have continuity. And I say, okay, well, that's great. That's working. If I take it out, you'll see that the red light goes out. Now, the only trouble with this is, and this is where I started picking it up, is if I go to this one right here, it lights up. And that is one of the battery hot powers. Okay, shouldn't be there. If I go to this one, it doesn't light up. If I go to this one, that one lit up. Now I can't tell you what that is, but that's still not in the designated wiring. If I go over here to this one, it did not light up. To the next one, it did light up. Can you see that light go on and off? Okay. If I go up to this one, this is another battery hot. I get power showing there. So I say, okay, well, how can that be? Next segment. All right, now I want to isolate and say, have I got a bad wire harness? Well, if I go back here to this, like I said, the 302 connection, and I take the 302 connection, which is the one that goes down to P115. And if I come up here, according to the schematic, it's 302, connection 302, pin 5 is where the power should be coming through for the neutral. So on this up here, it's this one right here, pin 5 on 302. Golly, I hope this is showing up. There, okay. I'm on 302. The light is lit up. Watch the light go out here. Okay, the light goes out. But now, if I take and start probing, since it showed up on those other spots in the wire, is it a harness or a printed circuit board that's bad? And I start getting different lights. There's one, a very dim one. That's on number 2. Okay? That's on number 2. Number 3 doesn't show. Number 4 shows very brightly. Let me do this again. Okay, I get one over here. And what I start to get happening, now pin 5 lit up like it's supposed to, but I get different readings at different spots. And that's simply not supposed to happen. So, all right, let me check this out. All right, this is kind of for my sake too. I'm getting readings at 302 pin 2, pin 3, pin 4, pin 5, pin, okay, those are it. Now, I've got to see what those go to. And I said it, okay? Thank you. All right. So now, if I go to pin 1, this is J302, pin 5, that's supposed to only have the lead on it. I've got and you can see the LED lighting down there. This is pin 1. Pin 3, there's nothing. Pin 4, I've got something. Pin 5 is actually the only place it's supposed to be. Pin 6, I've got something. Pin 7, 8, I've got something. 9, I've got something. 10, nothing. 11, nothing. 12, yep. 12, I got something. 13, 14, 15, nothing. Even 12's got something. All right, so not supposed to be. It's supposed to be solely dedicated to that one pin. So my conclusion is we got a problem in the circuit board. I'm going to need to pull that to take a look at it.